someone was like, "Do you believe in God?" And he was like, "I only believe in God when I'm sick or injured."
Let's be best friends.
People feel very at ease.
Yeah. I think that's what it is that at the, like, I always say that I don't really care what I'm doing as long as someone is, like, having fun doing it.
Yeah.
So that's, like, the whole idea to me is, like, let's do something you like doing and have fun, and then it just, like, we haven't even, I have all these conversation starters. I haven't used a single one of them because we haven't had to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, though, is your role in this is different than your guest because you might be out of your element in someone else's element. Like, you might be doing things that you haven't done before or maybe are, like, not used to doing, but it's someone else's thing. Has that been your experience? Like, have you done something that sort of took you outside of comfort?
Yeah, well, so there's an episode, it's probably out by the time this one comes, or it's certainly out by the time this one comes out. There's an episode where we did, I did a makeup look, like, I had a friend of mine who's a makeup artist on the show. And,
cool.
And I was like, let's do one of your looks, like, kind of walk me through it a bit and we'll do it.
Yeah.
So we did, and, like, I wouldn't say it's out of my, like, you know, like, comfort zone per se, because I've done it a few times before, but it's definitely not something I have experience in, like, you know, as opposed to playing a video game or something like that, where I'm like, you know, I can play a video game.
Yeah.
So I think those are my favorite episodes, though, when I'm doing something that I don't normally do.
Yeah. That's a good opportunity for you to maybe even, like, learn something or get better at something.
Yeah. I think, and I'll say it, I looked pretty fucking good by the end of that episode.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, man. I'm saying it.
Did you have your own makeup or did you buy some?
I have, so I did I had a bunch left over. I did a stream once. I did a few streams. The first one was I did my own makeup for the first time ever. I'd never, like, done a full face of makeup before. I was in theater, so I've done some makeup, but not, like, a face of proper makeup. And it didn't look good. So I was like, okay, I'll do another one where I get my roommate to help me. And so she did like a glam purple eyeshadow thing, and it looked baller. So I was like, oh, makeup just, like, it's like face paint. Like, it just makes you look cool.
I love makeup. Yeah, it's so fun.
That's why it's great.
Yeah. I understand now why people, like there are some YouTubers that do videos that are called Get Ready With Me.
Okay.
And they just do their makeup and just talk. Like, they just, like what we're doing, like, they just talk about random stuff or their life and stuff. And I think that's really fun. And yeah, you're busy doing an activity, but you feel comfortable enough to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are my favorite. Obviously, the video game ones are fun because I just like playing video games with people.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that like the drawing is always fun. I've done this is the second drawing one I did. I did one with Mike Payne a while back.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know he draws real good?
I did not know that. No.
I also did not. He was like, "Hey, let's try drawing," and I was like, "Okay, cool." Like, we're just gonna do, you know, two guys who don't draw that much, and then he, like, drew this amazing caricature of a Facebook profile picture that I had, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Wow, that's amazing.
Like, I was on his face on MS Paint. Like,
that's a really cool thing to, like, uncover someone else's secret talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It was like that was the first episode where I did it, and I was like, oh, this is, like, I made a good thing here. Like, this is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really fun. I love that. How long have you even been doing this?
What month is it? July? I started in April, I think.
Okay.
So it's only been about 3 months.
Cool. It's been like a quarantine project.
Yeah, basically. I got in quarantine, and because like, anyone who knows me will tell you that, like, I can't sit still.
Okay.
Like, I have an inability of sitting still. So like quarantine came and I was like, okay, cool. I think I'm gonna start a podcast. And my roommate was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. So I just started like coming up with ideas. I got some art done for it, and then I messaged a bunch of people to be on it, and I was like, cool, I have a podcast. I think I'm gonna start Twitch streaming. And then I like did the same thing where I like got some art, did it together, started Twitch streaming. Like I just get like that sometimes. I get in a mood where I'm like, I wanna learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Get a guitar from someone, learn how to play it. Like,
that's really cool. That's very ambitious of you to just, even if you can't sit still, that you're finding something to do.
Yeah. Well, like if I didn't find something to do, I would go insane. Like, I don't understand how people go through quarantine and not do anything. I was like, so many people were texting me like, oh, I'm so bored. And I was like, man, I'm so busy. Like,
yeah, I thought honestly, like, have been very busy. I don't understand. I actually, for real, don't understand boredom from an adult perspective. Like, right. I don't understand, like, it's not like the antithesis of a busy schedule is boredom necessarily. It's like, there's always something to do. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I can't even think of the last time I was like sitting around and thinking I'm bored. Like, I might be choosing to not do anything because of whatever mood I'm in, but I'm not bored. Like, I'm not I'm not like without choices of many things to do.
Yeah, there's a billion things I could be doing. I'm just choosing not to do them right now.
Yeah. Bored's up, like, I don't know. That's such an interesting state of being. Boredom.
I always, it's funny because I'll be like, I'll realize it sometimes where I'll be sitting on the couch and doing nothing, and my roommates will be like, hey, are you okay? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm just, chilling. And they'll be like, okay, like, because you're not doing anything. Like, do you want to do something? I'm like, no, I think I'm good. And they're like, okay, man, like, as long as you're okay. Like,
oh, they get worried about you if you're not doing it.
Because they're so, like, I always make the joke when I come home, because, like, I'll leave on a Saturday at, like, 10 a.m., and I'll come home at, like, 11 p.m., because I'll just be out all day.
Yeah.
And then I always make the joke, I'll come home and be like, hey, guys, you have a roommate. Like, what's up? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, we do have a roommate. Good night.
Yeah. That's so funny. Well, that keeps your mind active and stuff. I feel like I'm pretty good. I don't know. I'm pretty good at finding things to do, but I also do a lot of what I think people would perceive as nothing, but feels like something to me.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Like, I can find things to do around my house for a whole day, and I feel like I've done things, but they're really small things.
Okay. Like what?
Like, let's say I'll do a couple of hours of organizing and cleaning, but at the same time, maybe I have a movie on, or I'm reading something, or like I like to listen to books or listen to podcasts.
Yeah. So
if I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff like cleaning, reorganizing things, also listening to something, emailing, sometimes I'll have to actually book some time during the day to like return messages, which seems so stupid and like insignificant, but it actually takes time, especially if you're like me and you let them accumulate. So like that's a thing that I would do, and I'm like, okay, I've done something.
Yeah.
It's not exciting, but it's something.
But I think that's all life really is, right? It's just a balance of doing the stuff you have to do with doing the stuff you want to do, right?
Yeah. And and that's the thing is I like making it fun. That's why I watch movies a lot or have something on in the background as I'm doing something so that it feels, I don't like feeling like I'm doing a chore and feeling like dread about it. I want to, there's something to contribute to this being a pleasant thing to do.
Right. Do you ever, are you an audiobook kind of person?
Yeah, I love books, and I only discovered that about myself during quarantine, and I've read so many books. Because I take a long time to read on paper, and I just thought that's how reading is supposed to be. But then I started listening to audiobooks, and I've just been breezing through them.
Yeah. What have you read recently?
I read a really interesting, very fun, and suspenseful book called Dark Matter by Blake Crouch.
Oh, okay.
And it's a sci-fi thriller. It's about parallel realities, and it's a fiction book. So it's kind of like it's this guy's journey through different parallel realities. A little bit of a love story, but that's not really the main focus. But it's really fascinating, and it's thrilling. It's full of adventure, and it's like really well written.
Interesting.
And the narrator guy, like, should win an Oscar for acting his ass off. He was doing voices. He's just like in it, and I loved it. It's very entertaining to listen to the audiobook specifically.
I've always tried to get it because my brother is a huge reader. Like, I watch movies and he reads books. That's like our dichotomy.
Right.
And so I feel bad because, like, his apartment has a whole room dedicated to him and his partner's books.
Oh, wow.
Like, they have a whole closet that's just books.
Yeah.
And it's insane to me because, like, I'm the same way where I try and read and I get distracted or the only way I can read a book is if I literally, like, open it and finish it.
In one sitting, you mean?
Yeah, I can't put books down.
Okay, yeah.
So the only books, like, I have a bookshelf and I've read most of the books here and they've always been like I sit, open, or I get to, like, the first, like, 300 pages and then I can put it down. Like, if I go to read, I read for, like, 4 hours at a time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good way to do it because then you don't lose your place. Because I think that's why I'm able to listen to audiobooks is because I can just, like, set aside a whole day to be at home doing stuff and listening to the audiobook, and then I'm done. And I don't have to worry about, like, forgetting what just happened if I pick it up, a couple days later.
I think I should give audiobooks another shot. I haven't given them a shot in a long time.
Yeah.
I remember I tried it when I was younger and I didn't like it that much because I would just, like, I'd be listening and then I'd realize that I wasn't listening, so I'd just be like, turn it off, do something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think any kind of task that requires your attention is going to present somewhat of a struggle in focus. I think all of us deal with that a lot more than we used to. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of have to find which medium is the best one for maintaining your focus.
Yeah, for me, it's a big focus thing. Like I said, I have ADD and I got it really bad.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm not fully invested in whatever I'm doing, I'm so easily distracted.
Yeah, it's just not happening. Yeah.
I'm big into projects. Like, I'll pick up a project and I'll work on it. Like, right. If I want to make a chair or something, like, I need to, like, get the wood, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you you're more of a tactile or kinesthetic type of person, like hands and
yeah, very much so.
Doing things, yeah. That's really cool.
What about you?
I guess that I learn by, or I absorb that information by, I don't know, because I also read, I love reading stuff on my computer more than I love reading on paper books.
Okay.
Like paper. I don't know why, but I read a lot of, like, self-help books and stuff, but I read them online or audiobooks. I guess I can, if I really put my attention into it, listening is good for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm the same way where I have to, like, make a conscious decision. Okay, I'm going to focus on this thing, because when I'm at home during the day, it's not uncommon for me to have, like, horror movies playing all day just in the background,
like Scream playing in the background.
Yeah, my white noise is, like, horrific screaming and ghosts and everything like that. And I think a lot of people think that's a little jarring, but for some reason I just love it. Like, I don't think it affects me negatively. I don't have nightmares. I don't know. I like it.
I wonder if that's just by proxy of you like horror movies, so you, like, it doesn't impact your brain the same way.
Yeah, I don't think it does. Like I watched just yesterday, like just last night, I was just kind of like hanging around and I watched all of the Paranormal Activities. Like I just had them on and like that's a pretty good jump. Like those are jump scares.
Yeah.
Like those are cheap jump scares, but they don't like I don't know. They still get me and I still feel like it's like they're suspenseful for me, but they don't freak me out to the point where it's gonna affect my sleep or anything like that. Except for actually, sometimes I'll watch documentaries or like on Netflix. There's a show called Paranormal Survivor, and it's like real people's experiences with the paranormal.
Okay.
And those freak me out a little bit more because there's like we said, like that element of like possibility, like this is a real thing that this really happened to them.
Yeah, on the off chance that aliens exist and this guy did get abducted, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, and there are so many instances where sleep paralysis sounds like the most terrifying experience in the whole world, and it's just like it's a sleep disorder, but it sounds like an absolute like paranormal experience. There might as well be no difference.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Here's the big question: do you believe in all the like ghosts and things like that? Do you believe in the paranormal?
Not really. Well, yeah, no. I believe everyone's experiences are valid. I don't think people are lying. I think that people have experiences. I don't think that there are entities like completely separate from us. I think that our minds are very powerful, and I think they create a lot of experiences.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they are. I'm certainly not afraid of them. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't worry me. Other than the creepy Ouija board thing, but even that, even my explanation of that was like, I think that was me, and my cat picked up on me doing that. So I don't know. I guess there could be, but I personally never really had like freaky ghost experiences. I have had. I don't know. Now you got me thinking though, because I have had like what can only be described as like visits from like whatever experience. I've had some experiences that have felt like visits from people I know from beyond the grave, but I don't know if that was really them or if that was my projection of them. I don't know. It's hard to say.
That's the thing is that, you know, I'm 100%, I don't really believe in it, but I'm 100% convinced that my parents' basement was haunted.
Oh, yeah?
Like, we had curtains that went to the laundry room.
Yeah.
And I would always keep them closed. Or no, I would always keep them open. That was my thing. I always opened them.
Okay.
And I, like, used to spend all my time in the basement. Like, I'd either be outside or in the basement, that's it.
Yeah.
So, like, I would open the curtains, and I would sit down, I'd play my video games, I'd get up to go to the bathroom, I'd go upstairs, I'd come back, and the curtains would be closed, and I'd be like...
What?
There's a ghost.
Oh, shit.
There's a ghost.
Yeah.
An axe murderer. I'm gonna fucking die. And then I would open the curtains again, no one would be there, and I'd be like...
Oh, that's creepy. Well, do you think there's a difference between believing in, like, I believe in unexplainable things happening. I don't really know or care if there's some kind of force behind it, but I think I'm less inclined to believe that I don't think there's like a realm of hell where there's like a super force of dark spirits and they're separate enemies and they like plague the world. I don't think I believe in any of that, but I do believe in unexplainable experiences. I don't think people are I think there's too many people with encounters that I don't think that they're making it up. Mm-hmm. I think that it probably happened to them. Where it came from, I don't know.
I think it's a lot there's a lot of factors in it, right? Like to me, I'm the same way where I'm like, I don't know if there's like a higher power, higher being, you know, what have you. But to me, it's like on the off chance there is, I cross my T's and dot my I's, you know?
Like just in case,
On the off chance, you know, like I used to work with a guy And he said my favorite thing on religion ever, where someone was like, "Do you believe in God?" And he was like, "I only believe in God when I'm sick or injured."
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's so funny. Well, I think it's really true for some people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, that's, like, I can count on my hand the amount, like, I've never been a religious person. My parents tried and failed. I've never, like, been a believer in God or whatever, but, like, there's been times where, like, the most recent one I can remember, I had a really bad migraine. And I, like, when I was a teenager, I used to get really, really, like, debilitating migraines. Like, stay inside all day kind of migraines.
Oh, man.
And I haven't had them in so long. So I think I came home from work with just, like, a headache. And I was, like, just kind of complaining all day, which is also not like me.
Yeah.
And, like, so I took medication, which is not like me. Like, a whole bunch of things led up to it. And then it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I went to my roommate, and I was like, "Yo, I think you need to drive me to the hospital. Like,
whoa,
it feels like my brain is gonna fucking explode. Like, I think I'm having like an aneurysm or some shit."
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was scary. So I'm like in the hospital, and I'm waiting in the, I wait in the triage, waiting. I get to the nurse's thing. I'm lying on a bed, and I was basically just lying in this dark room for like 2 hours. With the thought that, like, I thought my brain was exploding. Like, that's what I thought it was. So I was like, I could die.
Yeah.
So I was so stressed. And I remember I prayed. And then a doctor came and, like, put an IV in me, and I was fine. And I was like, it was such a, like, surreal experience for me. Because I was just like, I don't know what to do. God?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the off chance you're up there, can you help me out, brother?
Yeah, it's like it can't hurt to ask.
Yeah, like exactly. It can't hurt to ask. If no one's there, no harm, no foul.
Exactly, you can't hurt to ask, and like I think that's a very common like resort for people when you feel kind of helpless to call out to something that may or may not be there. I think that's a very cool thing. I think that our subconscious mind is very powerful. So I believe in like the power of your mind and consciousness and stuff. But I think that no matter what, like whether you're sick or you're in some kind of trouble, I think it's very natural for people to sort of, who may have had no history of being religious, to sort of, hey, you never know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like, you never know. Hey,
yeah.
Man. Again, like that's what I always say, on the off chance, just in case.
Yeah.
Check the T's, dot the I's.
Yeah, and you're asking for help. You're just affirming what you're experiencing, and you're like, hey, I want to feel better. So if there's anything, whether it's in me or something else that can make me feel, this is the chance. Come on, reveal yourself.
Hey man, help me out.
Help me out here.
I remember when I was a kid, and I was going through, like, anytime I was going through a lot of shit, I would like pray, but I didn't really know how to pray. So I would like kind of barter with God. Like I'd be like, hey, if you help me out this once, I'll go to church. Like,
oh wow, yeah.
If you can figure this out for me, then I'll like praise the good word. I'll read a Bible or something, like. And it was always different, varying degrees. And I remember I would like kind of do checkups, and I'd be like, hey man, I know I said I'd go to church. I did it once. It wasn't really my thing. Are we cool? I hope we're cool.
You backed out. You backed out of your...
Yeah, I backed out. Well, because I was like, I'm a very literal person when it comes to that kind of thing. So I'm like, I mean, if God made me, and he like whatever gave me like free will and all that kind of stuff, like he made it so I don't like church. I'm not a church guy. He that was his problem.
That's on him.
So I tried it. Wasn't my thing. I think he gets it, and then we're good.
So wait, you said that you said though that your parents tried to like encourage you to get into that?
Yeah, my mom is very religious, but not in like an overt way necessarily. She's just very much like believe in fate, believe in God,
Okay.
There's God's plan and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time I started cussing in front of my parents when I like got older.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, when I was a kid, I never cussed. It's specifically in front of my parents.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I'm like an adult, so I started. And I can say like whatever. I can say like fuck this is bullshit, whatever. But the second I say goddamn, my mom will be like, whoa.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
and
that's too far.
I'm like, why? Like,
yeah.
Why can I do all these other cuss words, but I can't do that one? Or like sometimes I'll hit my stub my toe and I'll be like, ah, Jesus Christ, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, can't take the Lord's name in vain.
You know what's interesting about that, and I just read about this, is that the original meaning of that was always intended to be, in terms of taking the Lord's name in vain, it was always actually intended to be about not using religion to represent something that's unethical, or not using God to represent behavior that goes against Him. So it was more like action, trying to manipulate someone or trying to steal, take something from someone would be, and doing it in the name of God would be using God's name in vain, because He would not back that action up, and so you're taking His name in vain by misrepresenting Him. And I think that's a much better way of putting it than just saying, "Oh my God" or whatever.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like. It's funny, when I was a kid, I was a very, snarky, sarcastic kid. So, my parents would try and teach me things about, like that. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, do you really think that God cares?
Yeah,
as an honest moral question, do you think God actually cares? Because I think He's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, and I think that, if we were to instead teach children that you don't, if you're going to teach your kids about God, isn't it better long term to instill in them the value of not misrepresenting your faith and not misrepresenting God, and so only do things that align with actions that God would support, and otherwise, if you don't, you're taking His name in vain and misrepresenting Him. That's way more beneficial for society than just telling them that saying, a name in a certain context is making Him mad.
Yeah. I think it all comes back. I've said this my whole life. I think people treat kids like they're stupid, and it's always bothered me.
Totally.
It's when it happens every time I watch a shitty kids movie. I'm always like, man, I watched Aliens when I was 7. Maybe that was not the best, counter to it, but I turned out fine. You don't need to talk to kids like they're idiots. If you tell a kid don't steal because stealing is wrong, most of the time they'll kind of get that.
Yeah.
But if you go don't steal because when you die you'll go to hell, it's a kid doesn't understand that.
No.
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's sending a weird message too that everything you do, you should revolve it around what you may or may not experience in the next life, rather than because you wouldn't want to have that done to you, and it's disrespecting another person and treating them poorly. Yeah, totally.
When I was a kid, it was very again, my mom would teach me religious stuff, but it would be more it would be these are the commandments, you do them because it makes you a good person, not because Jesus cries when you steal a loaf of bread.
Jesus cries. Yeah.
And that's, so to me it was I take a lot of stuff like that, treat people the way you want to be treated, because it's just the right thing to do. Don't steal because it's the right thing to do. I'm totally with you.
Totally. I have a thought on that. One thing though is, how are we doing for time? I was just gonna say, I'm just finishing up the tail. I'm gonna be done the tail soon. I don't know where you're at.
I can be done at any time.
Okay. I don't want to rush or slow you down. This is your podcast. I'm keen on finishing this tale. It won't take me very long, but so far this picture is coming along pretty well. What was I gonna say though? Oh yeah, I don't know if your mom didn't let you watch certain. Well, most parents have rules about watching certain content when you're a kid, but mine was when I think about it now, a lot of the stuff that we weren't allowed to watch, for example, The Simpsons, we weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons. Yeah, I know. I missed that whole boat. I don't get any pop culture references to The Simpsons.
So sad.
I know. And it's also such a daunting show to try and watch as an adult.
Of
because
course.
The rest of it is huge.
A billion episodes, and everyone will tell you a different episode is the good one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, like, you know, shows that you grew up on, you tend to associate with the experience of having watched them as you grow up.
Yeah.
But there were certain, it's really weird to think of the things that I was allowed to watch, because I feel like I was way more negatively affected by certain movies that were, that I was able to watch at certain ages that were not, like, overtly bad. Like, for example, I don't know how old I was when I watched this, but, like, sometimes we would go over to, we'd have, like, a family gathering at someone's house, and the kids would be in a room, and we'd either be watching a movie that the adults were watching, or they would, like, put a movie on for us, and they weren't maybe not, like, paying attention to what the movie was, but it didn't look horrible on the surface. And I watched the movie of Mice and Men.
Oh no!
I know. And
no!
It really affected me, that movie. Like, there are so many scenes that are really violent and really graphic, and, like, maybe there's not a lot of cursing, but the guy strangles a rabbit and a woman.
Yeah.
It's in my mind forever, and I was really young, and it really affected me.
Yeah, it's not a very kosher flick. That's crazy.
It's not a kosher flick, and sometimes there are other movies that seem even more innocuous than that. And that's the thing about kids. You don't know what their imaginations are doing.
Yeah.
Adults have this idea in their head that, like, it's black and white. Like, kids shouldn't watch swearing, they shouldn't watch sex, and they shouldn't watch violence. Meanwhile, the first time that I watched Bambi, the movie, I wasn't even there's the tragic scene of the mother dying.
Yeah.
But to me, that wasn't the scariest part. There was a part in Bambi, and I would love to find it on YouTube, but it's so minor. It's, you know, the owl. I don't know if you've seen Bambi recently, but there's this owl, and during the scene where they're talking about Bambi being Twitter-pated, the owl is in this tree, and he does this weird head thing where he lines his head around, and he goes, woohoo! And his head takes up the full screen.
Yeah.
And that...
I remember exactly what you're talking about.
That scared the shit out of me. Just this cartoon owl's head going, woohoo! And his whole head being in the screen. I screamed. I was so scared. And that's not, like, a scary part, and no one would have known that would have scared me, but you're a child, and your brain goes in very bizarre places.
It's funny because, like I said, I would watch movies with my mom, and, like, my mom is the sweetest human being alive, but she watches like 80s action flicks and like really violent cowboy movies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched all these, like, super violent, like, graphic 80s action, like Schwarzenegger and Stallone and all these.
Yeah.
And same thing, it didn't, like, affect me. The only thing I wasn't allowed to watch was sex scenes. One of my mom's favorite movies is True Lies. Have you ever seen that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis?
I've never seen it, no.
So there's a scene where basically the plot of it is that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a spy and is married to Jamie Lee Curtis. And Jamie Lee Curtis is, like, bored of living with this guy that she thinks is just, like, an accountant who works too hard.
Okay.
Because to her, he's not like she doesn't know that he's a spy. He just, like, leaves for work in the morning and doesn't come home until, like, 10 p.m. because he's off doing spy shit.
Okay.
So she tries to cheat on him with this guy who says he's a spy.
Okay.
And it's very like silly and convoluted, but basically it gets to a point where they the spy agency that Arnold Schwarzenegger works for, Arnold, like, uses his homies and all their equipment to set her up to, like, think she's on a spy mission. Oh. And so they get her to, like, dress up really sexy, like she's, like, a femme fatale. And I was, like, 12, watching, like, in her prime 80s Jamie Lee Curtis
do, like,
a whole striptease thing, and I was like, this is amazing. And my mom was like, you need to go to the other room. And I was like, oh.
Oh, man. Meanwhile, you're having, like, a sexual awakening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I ever meet Jamie Lee Curtis, it'll be really awkward.
Yeah, that would be awkward to see someone who, like, was sort of the catalyst for you thinking certain thoughts at a certain age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because when I was, like, I knew Jamie Lee Curtis as the mom from Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
And then I watched True Lies, and I was like, holy shit.
That's so funny. You saw her in a different way. It was more than just a Freaky Friday. It was extra.
Extra Freaky Friday.
It was Freaky Friday. That's funny. I had that. I would have that experience with. Are you familiar with the Canadian heartthrob Devon Sawa?
Devon, no.
Devon Sawa, you would know him if you saw him. Okay,
Maybe,
so
yeah.
I'm trying to think of notable. So he was in the movie Casper with Christina Ricci.
Okay.
He had a short role as Casper at the very end, when Casper gets turned into a boy.
Oh, okay.
And there's this moment, and my best friend and I went to see that movie in the theater. Yeah. And there's this. And so we already had a crush on Devon Sawa because he was also in this other 90s movie called Little Giants about a Pee Wee football league, and he was so cute in that movie. Yeah, so then we see Casper, and like the whole movie is just about like this animated ghost, and then at the end, there's this like they're at a dance, and there's this romantic moment where you see Casper being transformed into a boy, and he descends this spiral staircase, and you only see the back of his head, and he's walking down towards Christina Ricci, and then they go out into the dance floor, and then the camera, it shows him turned around, and it's Devon Sawa, and my best friend and I screamed in the movie because we were so starstruck and smitten by him, and we're like, Devon Sawa's in this movie. And he went on to play Stan in Eminem's music video for Stan.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the guy with the bleached blonde hair, the stalker guy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's Devon Sawa. But he was like a huge influence on like my attitude towards Freaky Fridays and romance. So if I would feel super awkward around him, I feel.
It's so funny to me that there's like a generation of kids who grew up in the 90s who had a weird sexual awakening with Casper. Yeah,
it's definitely, Casper is a big one. And also, in a weird way, we kind of had a crush on Casper the ghost, too.
Because he's just this nice guy.
Yeah, because he's just like this nice guy. And
he's just this
so
nice guy who'll treat you right. Like,
I know. Find a guy who will look at you the way Casper looks at you. But yeah, like, that was a big thing in the 90s, was being attracted to cartoons.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wonder, it's funny because I wonder now what'll happen to these kids, because I think we're breeding a generation of furries. My theory is that they're all going to be furries, because like the what are they called? The little dogs who have jobs. Rescue something? Rescue...
is this a show?
Puppy Patrol?
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol, that's it.
Yeah.
These kids nowadays have like Paw Patrol, everything's Peppa Pig, like everything is starring animals.
Yeah, totally.
I know that all the kids in the 90s wanted to fuck cartoon characters. I think all the kids in like 2030 are going to want to fuck cartoon animals.
Yeah, I think that's true. I could see how I would have been into Paw Patrol as a child for sure. And I probably would have had a crush on some of the puppies for sure.
Right? Like, they're just like we had Rescue. Do you ever watch Rescue Heroes?
No.
Rescue Heroes was our version of that when I was younger in like the early thousands and late 90s. And all it did was give us like a firm respect for law enforcement. Like that's
Yeah, that's very true. That is true. I wonder why that like made a difference. It's like if you show them more as like a character, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they're super cute or whatever. You know what that reminds me of is I just recently watched, I got Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And so I was watching Beauty and the Beast the other day.
The new one or the old one?
The old one.
Okay.
The old. And I loved Beauty and the Beast so much.
Yeah.
And Like, one thing that I noticed, which made me laugh so hard, and like we all know that, like, yeah, it's kind of crazy and messed up that like Belle essentially falls in love with a wild animal because she doesn't know that he's a guy, and so like there's this weird romance, but whatever, we all just accepted it and got over it. I know that that's funny, but there's this part at the end where the beast sets her free to go take care of her father.
Yeah.
And so she goes back to the village with the mirror that he gives her, and Gaston is there with all the village people.
Yeah.
And she tells them about the beast, and they're all like, they're like, oh, so he's like this beast living in a castle, like we should kill him, like he's probably gonna kill us all, he's gonna hurt us.
Yeah.
And Belle was like, no, like I got to know him, he's actually really nice, like he would never hurt anyone. And to that, Gaston says, oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're starting to have feelings for this creature. And I'm like, what a conclusion to jump. So minimal knowledge.
Sounds like you want to fuck a wolf.
Yeah, why does he go there first? He doesn't know that the beast is a man. He doesn't know anything. So essentially it was like the equivalent of like having a person over and asking if your dog bites, and you're like, no, he'd never bite anyone, he's gentle. And you'd be like, whoa, sounds like you want to fuck your dog. Like that was what happened in that movie, and I think it's so funny that we never questioned Gaston's role and just be like, so you're into this beast?
Yeah. I would have never picked up on that. That's so funny.
Oh, it's so... I only just did Justin and watching it as an adult. I've been watching so many Disney movies this week that I was like, wow, that is so friggin' funny. Holy shit.
So it sounds like you want to fuck a wolf.
Yeah, that's his so first. That was his first guess. Right out of the gate, you want to fuck a wolf.
Well, that's the title of the podcast episode right there.
So you want to fuck a wolf?
Welcome to Let's Be Best Friends. Do you want to fuck a wolf?
Do you want to, let's be sure, do you follow that account Not a Wolf on Twitter?
No.
I'm not even on Twitter anymore, but that's like one of the only things I miss about it. There's follow this guy named, it's like not a wolf or something, or like definitely not a wolf, and it's just like this account of a character that's clearly a wolf but trying to make people think that he's not a wolf.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's really, really funny.
Oh, man. It's funny the different context that happens when you're like an adult watching a kid's movie.
Yep.
Like I remember the first time I rewatched Beauty and the Beast as an adult, and there's a line in that song that the Village People sing, the Kill the Beast song, where they're like, we don't like what we don't understand, in fact it scares us. And I was like, that's such a fucking smart line to put in the middle of this children's song.
Yeah. Yeah, like, totally.
Oh my god, what a great line.
That is a great line. I didn't even think of that either. Also, maybe you would know this, but one thing I was thinking about when I was looking at all the song that Gaston sings in the bar, and it shows like, so every French man has a ponytail in that movie. Is that a real thing, that all French men wore ponytails like that?
From what I understand, it's because back in like pioneer times, like where they were, everyone would either wear like wigs because like there was so much lice, or they would tie their hair in ponytails because like you couldn't afford, like people didn't wash their hair every day or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and people didn't get because people didn't get haircuts and stuff every day.
Right.
And like, because, you couldn't afford it. So they would tie their hair would grow out, and they didn't want, to get it in mud or dirt or any of that stuff. And like, they didn't want it in their eyes, so they'd all tie it back, and it would prevent them from getting lice. Because, because it wouldn't come in contact with as much stuff. Or at least that's what I was told. I'll be honest, that could all be bullshit, but that
seems to check out. I didn't know that about the ice thing though, but that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's why every dignitary and politician, whatever, back in those days wore powdered wigs.
Yeah.
They'd shave their heads off, and they would just buy these very extravagant wigs because they all had lice.
Oh my gosh.
Like really, really bad lice. Yeah.
That's awful. That'd be so uncomfortable. How do you
dude.
just have lice?
Yeah, living in the like that's one of those things where like you ever have those Facebook posts where it's like I wish I lived in the like in the medieval times or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all horseshit. Like, are you kidding me? I would hate to live in the medieval times.
Yeah. Why do you?
A flea bite can kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot you're not really taking into consideration.
Yeah. And like
I don't really resonate with people who say that they were meant to be in a different time, which is maybe the same people. I don't think that I don't know. Like people who are like, oh, I should have been born in the 70s. That would be more my thing. Like, okay, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, like the thing about it is that I think people think about it like very like binary, where it's like, oh, we can't be hippies in 2020 because it's like a 70s thing. And it's like, if you want to be a hippie, man, like go be a hippie. Yeah,
what's stopping you? Time? Oh. You just do what you want now.
Yeah. There's hippies all over the place. They're just like bodega kids now. They like all open like hookah bars and stuff. Like, do that.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point, that I think the only reason why people are saying that is because they think that they would be more widely accepted by other people. Meanwhile, that you do what you want here and now and not give a shit.
Yeah, you just got to, I think what it is
or
that
find it.
It's people don't like search it out. So people are like, oh, I want to be a hippie, but like all of my friends would think I'm weird. And it's like, well, then you have to make hippie friends. Like,
you got to find the hippies. You got to move somewhere. You got to change something to be more in alignment with your new hippie life.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like, it's if you want to be whatever, like whatever it is that you think you want to be, just do it. And you'll find people who enjoy the same thing as you.
Yeah, you'll find like-minded people. You won't have to time travel. It'll all be fine.
Yeah.
And you can be happy doing what you do.
Unless it's for like a concert. I understand that. I wish I was born in the 70s so I go to Woodstock. Like, that's my thing. I'm with
it.
Yeah? Because, like, it's kind of hypocritical of me to say, because it's like, well, why don't you just go to, concerts now? And I do, but the idea of getting to see, like, Jimi Hendrix live...
Okay.
That's a fair thing to be like, I wish I was born in the 70s so I could hear Jimi Hendrix live. Fair enough.
Oh, sure. Yeah. When it's about, like, being alive during someone else's time who's not here anymore.
Yeah. Or, like, a big event or something like that. Like, I think about, the only time I've ever heard a good argument for going back to, like way in the past is, like, going back to the World's Fair back in, like, the 1800s or whatever.
Okay.
It was like, someday we'll have cars! And just, like, experience that very genuinely would be so fascinating.
Yeah. That's true.
Without the cynicism of being like, well, yeah, but, like, the cars are going to suck and you're going to have to pay for gas and insurance. Like... going back in time, but just shitting on everyone's... Yeah, on everyone's hopes.
Yeah. That's so funny. Also, when people talk about going back in time, like, whether it's to kill Hitler or just like to be in a different time or whatever, is the assumption that you are going back with your current awareness, or are you going back and like not really having any present like concept of your present self? What are you taking back with you? Are you the same person?
I think that's the most interesting part about it, because I feel like everyone has a different opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'd want to go back with the conscious mind, like that. Like, I want to go to the World's Fair so I can see people get excited about horseless carriages and shit.
Right, with your current awareness of not having experienced that.
Yeah, with my knowledge that someday there will be Teslas. Like, I want to know...
Okay, yeah. The contrast of knowing what has not, what has been and what hasn't been, and being able to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you ever thought about the punching baby Hitler thing? Out of curiosity?
Yeah,
where are you on that?
Well, that's the thing is I don't know that would do, like, is that doing anything? Like, wait, did you say punching or killing?
Punch. Oh, okay. Does your answer change whether it's punch or kill? Does that change your answer?
Yeah, kind of, because, well, I don't want to punch a baby, but, and I don't want to kill a baby either, but like, what's the punch gonna do?
It's true. That's a fair point.
If I eliminate him, I'd also if I eliminate Hitler.
Yeah.
Does that mean there's just never going to be someone else
in his question? Does that create Super Hitler?
That is the Super Hitler.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that
maybe Hitler? There was someone I remember once was like, I wouldn't kill Hitler because then he'd be like a martyr, and then it would create Super Hitler. There'd be like a Hitler who like is worse than Hitler.
Wow, that's an interesting speculation.
Right?
For every time you kill Hitler, you create 3 more.
You create 3 more better, smarter Hitlers.
For every Hitler you kill, you create 3 better Hitlers, 3 worse Hitlers. I don't know if that tracks, but I don't want to do that. I think that like also, how are you killing the baby? I think there are more like humane ways to remove a baby from Earth than like if you just walk up, like if you just approach a baby and you just punch it, now you've just punched a baby, and the baby is gonna cry and it's gonna be very hurt, and maybe you cause damage, and I think that would really now maybe he's not Hitler, but he's like a deformed human with a lesser experience of life, and that's on me.
So you're saying you don't want the guilt of punching and or killing baby Hitler?
Yeah, I don't want that. I think that's not my job. I think I wouldn't take that responsibility of trying to, unless I had like a surefire way to know that I'm eradicating one source of evil that wasn't going to duplicate in its absence.
Yeah. You want to have like a surefire, like A to B, I kill Hitler and World War II never happens.
Yes. If I want to know that when I kill Hitler, Hitler doesn't exist in any form now.
You want the guarantee of no Super Hitler.
I want the guarantee. And you know what? I don't think that I would get it. I don't think anyone could actually give that to me.
No, it's impossible.
So you'd really just have to take the gamble and then live with whatever is the outcome.
The gamble of killing baby Hitler.
Does anyone know that it's you? That like, have we all employed you to go back, and then you come back and you're like, well, I did it, and then they have to sit back and watch what happens, and then whatever does happen, it's on you, or is it anonymous?
Interesting. Are you like a super soldier, like Captain America style, going back and making things right?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know.
And if so, can you handle that level of fame and publicity? Can you handle the droves of women who are going to be all over you? And can you handle the many photo shoots that you're going to have to commit to
for being the man who killed baby Hitler?
To be people's sexiest man of the year because you killed Hitler?
I am always ready to be people's sexiest man of the year. I live in a constant state of being ready for that call.
Two things you need to be prepared for in life. Whether or not there's a God if you're sick and dying, or whether or not you're going to be people's sexiest man of the year.
That's it.
You have to be prepared for both equally.
You have boiled down my existence perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it really comes down to, the real meaning of life.
That's the meat and potatoes of life right there.
All right, I finished my coloring. I'm done. Woohoo.
Okay.
All right.
I'm so close to being done. I actually thought that I was going to get done faster.
How far are you?
I'm coloring the sky, which sounds like it's going to take a lot longer than it is, but I've given up on coloring in the lines.
No, do your thing.
I've long ago given up on not scuffing the lines, but this is a perfect opportunity to get our question from social media. If anyone would like to get their question into the show, you can tweet me at OldKingCake, tweeting, Instagram. I think every social media you can hit me at OldKingCake. We take questions from fans, from viewers. You can also comment right in the YouTube comments down below. If you would like to get a question on the show, today's question is, if you could visit any monument in the world, all expenses paid, no COVID, where would you go?
If I can visit any monument?
Any monument or historical, like, place.
Okay. Um, I would like to go to the Grand Canyon.
Ooh, okay.
I know that's not really a monument, but it's like it's like a historical landmark.
That counts. I count landmarks.
Yeah. If that counts, I would like to go to the Grand Canyon. I know that's not like so exotic that you would like. I could just go. I guess I could just go. I don't necessarily have to like wait for someone to do that for me. But where else? Yeah, the Grand Canyon is one. I would also like to, or the pyramids.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, the pyramids for sure.
What's the coolest one you've ever? Have you ever gone to like one of those monuments or natural wonders, anything like that?
I don't think so. I haven't been to like I've been to a lot of places, but I don't think I've been to anywhere that's like crazy known for anything. Actually, though, I went to I was in Asheville, North Carolina last summer, and have you ever heard of the Biltmore Estate?
No.
So it's like one of the biggest. I like really big mansions and castles. So I think, which is another one. So I'll get to the actual one that I think would be my answer. But it's like a huge mansion, and it was just rich people live there, and but it's very fantastical, and it's still intact, and you can take tours through this large sprawling estate, and it's beautiful, and it's filled with history, and to get there, it took me 2 Ubers to get it. It took me an Uber to get to the gate, and then you take an Uber from that gate to like the other side of the state where you actually go to take the tour. It's crazy.
That's
insane. Yeah, you just get to see all the history of the different families that live there, and it was really cool. But also, I would like to go to the Dracula Castle. It's called like Bram's.
Ooh, Bram's.
Bram's Castle.
Yeah.
But I love castles, and I would love to go. I like looking up like the biggest castles in the world, and I would definitely like to go and take like a full tour of a castle like that. Yeah. But other than that, I haven't been anywhere, and I'd love to see the Grand Canyon. And yeah. What about you? Does this question apply to you, or are you allowed to answer?
It's my show. I can do whatever I want to do. I don't know. I've never been a very like sentimental person in terms of things like that. Like when I travel, it's because I'm like doing something. Like I'll go out east to see my family, or I'll go to Montreal with my friends, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like I could never see myself traveling alone just to see something, you know what I mean? Whereas my brother is very much like he wants to go to the Colosseum and pyramids and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think I would do that with him or with whoever. Like, if I was with someone who was like, well, I'm going to Egypt to see the pyramids, you should come with. Fuck yeah. But I would never go to someone and be like, hey, yo, let's see the Eiffel Tower.
I like how you kind of presented that offer to go to the pyramids was like someone was going to the convenience store, and like you're like, hey, I'm gonna go to the store and pick up some ice cream. You want to come with?
Hell yeah.
The same the same tone and verbiage as going to the pyramid.
Because that's how I look at it. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's like a vacation. Like, let's go.
I'm just gonna swing by.
If we have time, I guess. Like.
Also, this Niagara, I mean, it's not that spectacular once you've been there a million times, but Niagara Falls, isn't that one of the many, places in the world that people like going is the falls? What was I going to say? I was supposed to be in England in May, which got canceled, obviously, from COVID. I was supposed to put on a run of my one-woman show in Brighton, UK, and I had a whole vacation plan, like a solo vacation, where I was going to spend a week in England, and then I was going to spend a couple of days in London and go to Buckingham Palace, And then I was going to go to Italy, and I was going to take that train that takes you through Paris and the Swiss Alps and Italy, and you get all these beautiful places in one trip. And I was so excited to go, and then COVID. And so, so I had big plans to do that because I do love traveling. I like traveling with people, but I also do like traveling by myself. So hopefully I can reschedule that trip when everything is normal again. But yeah, I would love to go to the Swiss Alps. I would love to go to Italy. I would love to go to Tuscany specifically.
Why specifically Tuscany? Are you a wine person?
I like wine, and it looks beautiful.
Okay.
And I like. I would love to go anywhere in Italy where I can explore some nice vineyards, and I've just heard really nice things about Tuscany, and also just the architecture there, and it just seems really beautiful. Also, I don't know if you're a big Seinfeld fan.
Big Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember the episode where Elaine's boyfriend says that he has a place in Tuscany, but he gets really dodgy about it when he talks to Jerry for some reason? Jerry's like trying to grill him, like, well, where in Tuscany? Can you hook me up with Tuscany? And then he wouldn't tell him anything about it. And I don't know, I just love that episode. So I repeat it to myself every time I think of the idea of going to Tuscany.
It's funny, Seinfeld's one of those shows that everyone has, it's like The Simpsons and Futurama, where everyone has that episode that for some reason sticks in their brain.
To you? Yeah.
Like everyone has one.
Yeah, for sure.
My Seinfeld one is the one where Kramer has the Frogger machine and he's trying to get, like, at the end credits is him trying to get it across the street.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I love that show. I want to rewatch it. But yeah, the Elaine's boyfriend would not let Jerry go to Tuscany. And he's like, and it was bothering him the whole episode. He's like, I need to know why he's trying to keep me out of Tuscany. Anyways, great show. Probably a great place to go, Tuscany. So that's on my list for sure.
It's funny. I realized this actually just now that we were talking. I've realized I like traveling, but I like the traveling aspect of it, which I feel like most people don't. Like, I like being on a plane and, like, looking out the window and doing, like, I do crosswords while I'm on flights, or, like, driving. Like, when I go to visit my family, I always drive. So it's like a 20-hour drive.
Yeah.
And I love that drive because there's, like, these beautiful Quebec countrysides, and there's all these, like, little places that I like to stop and all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
That's where I have fun, and then I get to my destination, and then I do, like, whatever it is I'm there to do, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like this chunk, which I feel like for most people, it's like, oh, we have to drive there, like,
Right. You like the adventure of it.
Yeah.
The transportation.
Yeah. I love the transportation part of it.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting to go on a plane and to, like, it's like a break in your routine and it's a break in your normal, journey. So I'm into that as well. I like a good road trip. I like going on planes too, for sure.
It could very much be that I've only ever been on, like, 2 planes in my life, but I still have that, like, childhood thing of, like, I'm in a giant metal bird in the fucking sky. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah.
That's a good way to keep thinking of it as like an amazing experience. I think that's a fun way to.
You gotta keep joy, man.
I was on a plane recently from, I forget where I was, but Mexico.
Okay.
And I got upgraded to it's not first class, but it's like just beneath it, medium class.
Medium class.
Yeah, and we had really good, we had really good food, and I think it doesn't get said enough that sometimes airplane food is actually very good.
Yeah, but only rich people get the good food.
What's that?
Said only rich people get the good food.
That's probably true. I mean, I don't go on enough trips where I'm always eating, like, long enough flights where there's meals, but the one that I just had was really good, and I like a good plane ride for sure.
So we've come to near the end. Let's take a look at your drawing first off.
Okay. All right, so this is the final product of the Believe in Unicorn. Can you see it?
Yep, it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. I wonder why it says Believe in Unicorn singular. Like there's no S.
Believe in one unicorn. Pick one and believe in them.
Believe in unicorn. Just believe in one unicorn, or maybe it signifies a collective. But yeah,
it's the royal unicorn.
The royal unicorn. But yeah, that was fun. I like that I chose this one because I got to use all the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. I've got mine up on my screen. It is a llama and a sloth surfing.
Yeah, well, that's very fun.
What more can we say about that?
It's a llama and a sloth. When you upload this, you should put some kind of picture of it included in the thing.
Oh, I will.
In the promo for it. Yeah, okay, good.
Oh, I will. So we've come to the end of the show, which is always sad, but we've had a good time, and it's time for my favorite part, which is the lightning round.
Okay, so I'm nervous.
The way this is good, everyone gets nervous when I say lightning round.
You're gonna have to color now. Ooh.
It's gonna be okay. All we're gonna do is I'm gonna put 1 minute on a clock.
Oh God.
I'm gonna ask you as many this or that questions as we can get through within that minute.
Okay.
We're gonna put your score to my pre-prepared score, and see how close we are to becoming best friends.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay? Very low stakes, very low pressure. Are you ready?
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1. Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Pop music or rock music?
Pop music.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Yes! Stuffed animals or dolls?
Stuffed animals.
Hot chocolate or coffee?
Hot chocolate.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Text message or call?
Text message. Forever.
Libraries or museums?
Libraries.
French or Spanish?
French.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Yeah. Theater or cinema?
Theater.
Love or money?
Love.
You're the first person to answer that quickly, and I think that's very funny. Books or movies?
Books.
Books. And that is our time.
Woohoo!
My favorite part about Love or Money is I specifically put it near the end because everyone's always like, oh, I don't know. And you were just like, love.
Love. Come on now.
That's a real one right there.
Yeah.
I am going to tabulate the score. Courtney, this is your time. Take all the time you want. Shout out your social media, what you're getting up to, what you're getting down to. Tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Okay, cool. I have a website that you can visit. It's www.CourtneyGilmour.com. Gilmour is Gilmour. And you can follow me on socials, Instagram at Courtney J. Gilmour. Yeah, those are the two mains. And I can tell you which next Zoom show I'm going to do, which is probably not going to be that soon. And yeah, come say hi if you want to. I'm filming something that I'm not really allowed to talk about yet, but I will update it on my socials. I'm filming something in quarantine. They're mailing me cameras and lighting equipment. So
really?
If I figure that out, because I don't know how that's going to go, I'll announce that on my socials. And, I would like to advertise, I'd like to take this moment to advertise my favorite summer treat that I think everyone should check out, which is drumstick ice cream cones, the original sundae cone, as it's known. And also follow them on social media because @drumstick is one of the funniest accounts ever out there. It's really funny. I don't know who runs their social media, but they're brilliant. They're just amazing. An example of amazing tweet is all capital letters, normalize chocolatey nugs, normalize chocolatey nugs, normalize chocolatey nugs on the drumstick account. It's amazing. So don't miss out.
I love the era of social medias that we live in,
Yeah.
where all the brand accounts are just meme accounts now.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah.
You are the first person to promote something on the show that was a brand deal entirely outside of the show.
I'm not sponsored. I have no affiliation with Drumstick beyond my love for the company. But I just, when you find a real one, you gotta shout it out. So.
But we could be. So Drumstick, if you're listening to this right now, I am willing to sell my soul. I will get it tattooed on my forehead, Drumstick ice cream, if you sponsor my show.
Yeah.
Courtney Gilmour, I want to thank you for being here on the show. We've tabulated your score.
I'm excited.
After our lightning round of questions, you got a total score of 6 out of 14, which...
Whoa, 6 out of 14.
Which might seem low.
It does seem low.
But what it really means at the end of the day is that we've been talking for 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's true.
With that few of with 6 out of 14 things in common. That's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. It's opposites attract. It's you can make anything work. Anything is possible. Totally.
There you go. So I want to thank.
Were you on summer versus winter? Were you summer or winter?
No, I'm winter till I die.
That's all that matters.
I hate being sweaty.
Yeah. There you go. That's the only thing I need to know for you to be my best friend. So
Perfect.
The rest. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This has been so much fun.
Thank you for being on. I want to thank you for becoming my new best friend, and I want to thank all my best friends out there listening to the podcast, however you like to listen to it. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. It helps all the algorithm stuff. Follow our guest, Courtney Gilmour, at Courtney J. Gilmour. Follow me at OldKingCake on every single social media known to man. I want to give a special shout out to Isabel Wing for the intro to our podcast, Let's Be Best Friends, and Seth Feldman for the outro to our podcast. That's all the time we have for this week. So remember, your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you guys next week.